Okay, we're off again. Now it's quite late in the evening, so the pickup on this is probably not going to be that fantastic because at night time it doesn't really work very well. But you can sort of get a bit of a view. I wasn't really planning on using this in the evening, but as we've come this far, even though it's a bit dark, I thought why not. There we have what used to be Wing Bar, still Jim's Supper Bar. Good little place, Jim's, definitely worth a go if you're after Chinese, and if you ask them in there, say you're partial to a hotter meal, Jim will make it a bit hotter for you if you ask. Coming up to the bridge in Shotton now. Shotton high level station is up there, the low level station is accessible here, but it's easier to just walk down the road down the side of the central. Station Cafe. One thing about Station Cafe during lockdown is if you want a breakfast, you can get it delivered. Like at Just Eat, you can actually get a full English breakfast with toast. You can get a full English breakfast delivered by those guys. Sorry, I heard a funny noise.
There's that man to the left.
Oh.
Just fixing your stuff. You tight?
There you have the Central Hotel. A number of famous stars used to stay in there, apparently, many years ago. Huge range of delicious food in there. Edward Morgan Infants is up there, or at least was up there. Like I say, the low level station, it's easier to access it down here, down Alexandra Street. It's just at the bottom of that road, and that takes you to the likes of Llandudno, etc. The high level rail takes you to Wrexham, Bidston, so that you can get a train to Liverpool. Maybe have potluck, or had potluck. Potluck is gone now, unfortunately. It was just like a little bric-a-brac shop full of all kinds of stuff. Got the chapel across the way there. Celebrated its centenary in 1997. I'm not quite sure when the new front was put on, but I don't know if it was 97. I think it might have been a bit longer than that. I'm sure someone will know who watches this. Like I say, please do feel free to leave comments in the comments in the, well, if I could actually call it, comment section on YouTube, because not a lot of people are au fait with the likes of Facebook, etc., or don't want a Facebook account, so they may not be on there. That is Shotton Kebab House. So it's still quite noisy even at this time of night in Shotton. It's a very busy little town, but that's Shotton Kebab House. It's been going for donkey's years. Excellent place if you're starving at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're generally probably still open. Clare house. It's quite dark in there, so it probably won't pick anything up, but there's a couple of candles on the bottom there going. The fluid's still open at the moment, but we've just only in the last 5 minutes or so had the news report pop up on the mobile saying that is it Drakeford, the Welsh chap, he's doing a full lockdown in all of Wales, not North Wales. So we're going to have a full lockdown in Wales, so that means that all the pubs, all the cafes, all the hairdressers, everywhere's going to be closed, like it was during the major lockdown just a few months ago. The little flooring place across the way there, that used to be Shotton Post Office. Sadly that's closed, and just down the side where the lads have just walked down, there's a little door just at the side there, and that used to be apparently a chip shop many years ago, well before my time, but I think it was more of a 1960s thing. Shotton bargains. Scotland Cancer Research, Vision Express, etc. You're going past now. I hope that it shows up alright on the camera. I mean, it's going to be a bit grainy probably if it shows up at all. I'll attach this to the file if it looks okay. If it doesn't, I'll just bin it. But I'll film it anyway because I'm walking this way, so it's worth filming. Never know what you're going to capture as well. Shotton cards and gifts, like I said before, used to be thrifty shoppers for years. There you go, mate. Some of the shops are quite new on me, to be honest, as well. Looks like there's some kind of commotion going on further down in the quay. Loads of police cars. This used to be part of the old Tesco shop. It's now Super Pound. And this used to be the main Tesco store, Iceland, these days though. Obviously you had Man Web and what have you. But I've covered quite a lot of this before in the daytime. Car chop across the way, he's gone now. like I say, this is just like a little added tryout really. This camera generally isn't the best at night, so I wasn't planning on doing any night filming, but if it comes out, it comes out, eh? Ryland Street. The vape shop, baby scanning boutique, the beauty box, etc. Next to the beauty box until recently was Walk and Go. Well, it's Walk and Gone. Possibly it wasn't doing that well over this neck of the woods, so they decided to pull the plug. It'll give you a bit of an idea, I suppose, as to what it's like at night in D-side at the moment. It depends as well, because sometimes it can be a bit rowdy, as in people spilling out of pubs. Still a fair bit of traffic, not tons, but it's still a fair bit in the evening. A lot more in the day, as you saw earlier. But I think there's a few people probably in the pub still at the moment. They're kicking out in about 5 minutes or so. I may spot a few. Bridge Street, bridge at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it. Little garage on the right just as you go in there. I think they do MOTs and car repairs and things. D-side Insurance has moved further back up to where it originally come from. The larger office has closed. Obviously Mr. Bevans has been gone for a number of years. And also sadly Walk 1 has gone. I think it's gone for good. I don't think it's just a COVID thing. I think it has actually closed down, which is a shame. As I said earlier, there's been a buffet, a Chinese buffet here for, crikey, a heck of a long time. I remember going there in the 1980s, was it, to the Golden Quay, or I think it's also been the Imperial Palace. I remember this being the job centre. This was a very busy place when I was a kid, because everyone had been made unemployed from the steelworks, so you'd have like 12,000 men trying to get a job in this tiny little office. So as you can imagine, it was a busy little place. Bridge House, 1897. Again, like I say, leave a few comments, because some of these places I'm not quite sure what they used to be. Like this house here, the big estate agency, that used to be something before. I can't remember what it was, but it may have been solicitor related, or I'm not sure. Endy's pub is at the bottom of Brook Road. Go right the way to the bottom and you'll find Endy's. Bridge looks really nice at night now. I don't know if this picks up the illumination very well, but it is very nice. Just having those little lights that stick up through the floor, it's probably a fairly cheap little option, but it looks nice. Makes the place look a bit more respectable. Passing the cenotaph again. Like I say, if it wasn't for these boys and girls, wouldn't be living the life we're living today. So we owe a great deal to these guys. Is it nothing to all ye that pass by? I'm sure it isn't. Nothing. Hopefully we don't see any more wars like those. Well, the way the world's going, you never know. Cross solicitors. I don't know if there's ever any buildings along this bridge here. I wouldn't have thought so because the brook's here, but I'm sure someone said there was a wooden hut once. I may.
Water down there, can't you hear it?
Yeah. But I'm sure someone said there was a wooden hut on here. Whether that's correct or not, I'm not sure. I remember this place here was, I think it was Alf Parry's yard, I think. I'm not sure. Again, leave a comment. keep the world informed. I'll stick this on Facebook and I'll drop it on YouTube as well, so please do feel free to leave comments on the Facebook posts that I leave. But please do leave some on the YouTube channel as well, if you know a bit of info, because like I say, there's a lot of people who are not on Facebook and they look at my YouTube videos and I might be giving them some false info, and you guys have already corrected me on Facey and I no doubt will have forgotten to put it on YouTube, so please do stick it down if you're on my channel. Oh, my channel is Lindopski, Lindopski, just like Lindop Brothers, but Lindopski. And no, I don't sell skis. There's the swimming baths. Library. You can see the swimming baths very well now that the council offices have been pulled down. Yep, they've gone. They've been gone for a few years now. Cost cutting and what have you. Austerity. And just past Amory's Head, there used to be a shop. I think it was a charity shop at one point. I'm not sure. Or was it there? It may have been there.
Antique shop.
Antique shop. There you go.
Shop, antique shop.
Ah, with the black window. No, I don't mean that one.
Was there?
Yeah. No, there was one there. But that's not the one that I mean.
Well, it used to
There
have,
was
you used to have stuff outside the shop.
yeah.
Like antique shop, like
Yeah, that was
Wainwright.
that was like just on one side though, wasn't it?
Just like Auntie Wainwright.
Yeah.
No, because they had a garage next to it, didn't they? Where you could go in and stuff like that.
I don't know about that. Maybe. Starting to rain now.
Wainwright, you know.
Starting to rain.
Oh, didn't give rain.
No.
I'm just chef, I'm sure it didn't give rain.
If it does get a bit too heavy.
Okay. Bit of a shower, just stick it there.
Yeah.
It'll be alright.
If it does get too heavy, I'll have to cut it short because this camera's not waterproof, sadly.
That'll be fine, don't worry.
But at the moment, it's not too bad. Going to the bottom of Wepper Drive now. I'm sure these trees are thinning out as I get older. Maybe it's just me. 4 trees now. Could have sworn there was more than that when I was little, but I could be wrong. This rascal's the biggest of the bunch. Just on the corner, opposite Motor World. Like I say, I can't remember if it's Unwin's or Irwin's cash and carry. It's one of them two. You had Dr. Gavin's house just up there, and Dr. Bernadette's chiropodist surgery, or whatever it's called, chiropodry, I don't know. That was up there too. I haven't seen Dr. Bernadette for a while. I saw Dr. Mary a while ago. For people from the Quay, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's up to Wepper Drive, Civic Hall, etc. Deeside Dental Surgery, I don't know who runs that place now. It used to be Mr. Potter, Mr. Foodie and Mr. Parry. Mr. Foodie's still there. I know Mr. Potter retired because I saw him a few months ago in Mould, looking quite well. Anchor's Fish and Chips. Roxy's Hairdressing and Wilton's Flower, Fruit and Veg. And then you got Creature Comforts. Here we have the Polish shop. There's quite a lot of water here considering it's not been raining. I don't know where that's come from. It's been a reasonably dry day today so far. It's starting to rain now though. Harun's Charcoal Grill. Tesco Express. Till recently that was the One-Stop Shop. Just spin over to the other side of the road. Got St Andrew's Methodist Church. I think that was the Labour Party offices in recent times, campaign office or something. I think that's what it was. Anyway, it was Graham Catherall's photography place for a while. I think that was that one, or was that the one next to St Andrews? I do get a bit mixed up. Like I say, drop a comment. Lloyd Williams. Anyone from the local area will remember Lloyd Williams Furniture Shop. He's still proudly advertising on the top of the building across the way there, but it's been a gas spares place or plumbing spares place for a number of years now. Thomas Key Funeral Care, I think that's the Co-op funeral department, and then Hot Stuff Takeaway, and a few betting offices, Ladbrokes and William Hill, etc., where the Boathouse pub used to be. Daya Kebab. That one still gets me. Station Barbecue, so it's definitely related to the Station Cafe, because they're using the same kind of stationery. But it's a traditional Transylvanian cuisine. Many years it was Deeside Video. The church obviously here. Keystone Chapel at the back now is the meeting place, the church meeting place. Sadly the church is gone. Hope the camera's still performing reasonably okay. Like I say, it doesn't like water and it doesn't like dark, so hopefully it's come out alright. New city, Chinese. Got housing on the other side that looks like Victorian terrace. We're heading now towards the sadly now defunct custom house. Read the other day that it's no longer going to be used. Well, it's no longer going to be open. It's closed down. So I'm just waiting for Anne-Marie to catch up. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a camera that's a little bit better for Christmas, so save all my Christmas cash, and I've got my eye on that new Osmo Pocket 2 because it's got an image stabiliser on it, or it's got a gimbal built in basically, and it's very good 4K resolution, whereas the camera I'm using at the moment is only a 39 quid cheapo thing off Amazon. It's the Apeman A79. So if you're thinking about getting one, just check out my video from earlier today and check out the video from this evening and see what you think. That's the Hippodrome. Second-hand furniture warehouse, as it says. It used to be the bingo hall when I was a kid, but prior to that it was the cinema. And if you go in there, you can still tell it used to be a cinema with the layout of the place, though it's definitely seen better days. That's the custom house. It's a shame because it's a good pub, the Cuzzy, so it'll be sad to see it go. I don't think it'll go though. I think it'll probably carry on. I don't think it'll shut for good because I think it'll be taken over by someone else. Hey up. Sounds like someone setting off a few fireworks. There's probably bits I'm missing out here as well, so if I've missed out any bits and you're good with local history, like I say, leave a mention, perhaps even leave a time, I don't know what you call them, a timestamp is it, at the place where I've missed out. Any details or whatever. Like I say, this used to be the slaughterhouse till very recently, to be honest. These are only about 12 months old. One thing that I am a bit gutted about though is it looks as though Duna has closed. Duna's Barbers, and she is absolutely superb. So I'm going to have to get in touch with her and find out where she's setting up shop, so go and get my hair cut, because I was going to pop and see Duna shortly. But if you're in the side, in Connah or Shotton, recently moved here or something, and you're looking for a decent barber, just look for Duna. It's not bad at all. Trains going past down there. You can get on the lines, like I said before, down there, but it's quite dangerous because you have to actually cross the line. They tidied the bowling green up a few years ago. It's starting to look a bit tatty, so they spent some money cleaning it up and what have you. And tidied up Mold Street car park a bit because it was usually full of burnt out cars. I still find it amusing that they've started to charge people to park in there now. I've got to admit. That's what they have. Till recently this was the Indian takeaway, but that's closed. It's closed quite a number of years back, to be honest, but the building was still there with the adverts for it. And I'm not quite sure what this place was. Am I safe to go in the road? Yeah. Not quite sure what this place was, if it's always been housing or if it's been changed over. I'll cross over in a minute. Anne-Marie's crossed over, so I think she's looking for the old gas lamp. Are you looking for the old gas lamp, love? It's just behind that signpost. If you haven't seen it yet, in the daytime I walked past here and I mentioned about the, well, I think it's pretty much the last remaining gas lamp. I don't know if you'll see it very well in this light, but that's it there. This base part here at the bottom, there is one similar to that in Shotton, like I say in the other video, by River Quay, but there's nothing that's got the whole gas lamp. Intact, so to speak. Quay Alistair's funeral directors. Bit of a view, heading off down towards the custom house, etc. Hopefully the camera picks it up okay. One thing I'm not too sure about is the audio. Hopefully it's come out alright, because I'm recording both into the camera and into the phone. So I'm hoping that it comes out. The camera built-in internal microphone isn't that hot, so I'm using a cheapo lavalier, is it? Lapel mic, basically. Like I say, my kit's not the best, but hopefully in time I can upgrade a bit and make the videos at a little bit better quality, perhaps. This is recording in 4K, but it's 8-man 4K, so it's probably more like 4K. We'll see. It may come out okay. Being on the opposite side of the road here, you can see the hill that leads up the top there to the Glanamorfa Court. Yeah, I might have got a bit mixed up earlier when I said Redall Farm. I think I'm confused a little as to where the hospital, the Glanamorfa Hospital was, and Redall Farm. I'm assuming that Glenamorph Hospital was up there and Redall Farm was further down or something, but I'm not sure. It was gone long before I turned up. I think it had been demolished about 30 years or 25 years before I even was born, so I'm not quite sure exactly where it sort of lay. The only thing down this neck of the woods, I suppose, is there isn't really that many pubs left for people to be pouring out of now. I think the ship is there. Don't know if the ship's still going. It was till recent times. It may have bit the dust now, I'm not sure. Hopefully not. Because most of the others have. The Oaky House is gone. Cross Keys is gone. Halfway's pretty much on its way again. The Swan Inn has gone. The Quay hasn't been open since about February or March. So I don't know what's going to bode for that place. Going past the old chapel here. This I think is now in the travelling community's hands, because you get quite a lot of the travellers that live up in Sandycroft area here on a Sunday, etc. I don't know if it's solely for them or if anyone can go. I must admit I don't know. I don't know if it's a born again Christian-y type place, because it's got Jesus is Lord and stuff written all over it, so possibly. Because I thought the travellers were Catholics, because when I was a kid, if the travellers turned up, our school was inundated because I went to Catholic school. But times have changed now. Plus I suppose it depends what part of Ireland you're from. There was a big thing about Catholics and Protestants a few years ago, wasn't there? Fancy a burger? These signposts have been here for years now. I don't know if there was 3 at one point. I'm not sure. I have a feeling there was 3 and they cut it down for visibility, but it hasn't achieved very much, because the visibility you get now is blocked off by the trees, so you're not going to get much visibility. But the other 2 are still here. Here we have the bargain stores across the road. Delicious. We are closed until the 28th. Yeah, that was like the music bargain store, so you used to be able to get all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you had an amp from the 1950s, he probably had spares for it. If you had an amp from the 1990s, he probably had spares for it. Apparently there used to be a butcher's here, I don't know where, but Anne-Marie's saying there was a butcher's here.
Yeah, because I remember getting sausages.
Yeah. Again, Anyone who can remember that, you have to leave a note down. But yeah, the bargain stores used to be able to get all kinds in there. Stage equipment and PAs and all sorts of stuff. Building has got 1903 written on it, so that'll explain the stagecoach store on the side for loading. The building next to it, the red brick building, was for first aid Red Cross. They did Red Cross training in there for many years. What it was before that, I don't know. Again, that's another one that people might be able to fill the blanks in on. Now, this Grattan development across the way here, this was the printing place. If I recall correctly, when I was younger, there used to be a printing place here. It was a bit longer than that building, if I recall right. I think it was flat roofed or something. I think it went a bit further along, because these houses here, the white ones, weren't there at the time. Very similar, I suppose, to these across the way here. This little housing estate, very dark housing estate, I must admit. Could do with some lighting, hasn't got any street lighting. Was built in the back garden of Marsh Cottages here, 1851 to 1912. I'm sure it didn't take that long to build, so there must be some reasoning behind those dates. Again, someone can possibly fill those blanks in. I can see someone outside the ship, so I think it is still operational. Bit of another angle of the bargain stores and the Red Cross place. It's worth getting a bit of footage of there, because I don't know how much longer it'll be with us for, because the building is looking quite dilapidated, and generally around here, if a building's old and dilapidated, it doesn't really get restored, it generally gets pulled down, so it may not be with us for much longer. I hope it is, but you never know. And this was the house that had the big garden. If it shows up on the camera screen, I don't know. I think it's just going to be a little tad too dark for the camera in this area. Street lights are not working and things like that, so not a great deal to show up. Deeside Motor Centre, V for Value, established 1988, like I said. I think they still specialise in Volvos. Deeside Motor Centre. The old 240 in there kind of gives it away a bit. But we do have a host of other BMWs knocking around at the moment. closed now. The church is in session at the moment by the look of things. It must be late because the newsagents are shut. I'm avoiding filming the ship because there's a group of inebriated people knocking around there shouting, so best to steer clear. It looks as though it's open though. Sounds like they've had a couple of drinks. Marsh View Bungalow. Some other housing. Now, was Redall Farm up on that one? Or was that Glenamorfa Hospital? Like I say, someone will know. This was Quicksave. Was being the operative word. It's long gone. I've walked past a lot of these places over the years, but I've never been near them, you know. Grown up in the town, I've never been near that door up there. No idea what the place is. Here's Hammer Sound. He's gone now as well. Hammer Sound used to sell musical equipment. His stuff was less of a bargain store, second-handy type place to a more buy brand new type place. I think he did deal with some second-hand stuff, but it's mostly, say you wanted some new guitar strings, Ernie Ball or something, you go to Hammer Sound to get yourself a set. It's the Hare and Hounds Club. It's a big old coaching in that place, isn't it? I'm not quite sure when it was built, but it's a big one. And I think that Brown's Furniture Warehouse was part of it. I think. Don't quote me, but I think there was certainly an alleyway that led to the back. Now whether it's where that door is, where Anne-Marie's standing now, that the alleyway was, or whether it was part of Brown's, I'm not quite sure. I think Anne-Marie's taking photos of the freebies. They always have freebies outside of Brown's. It's a headboard today, and Anne-Marie takes a picture and sticks it up on Facebook saying, look, a free headboard. Indigo picture framing. I can't honestly remember what these were. One of them was a fishing tackle shop, I know that. That place there was Sea Spray, Chippy, Spinnaker in later years, and Spinnaker had a sister chip shop in Llangollen. But this may have been the fishing tackle shop, I'm not quite sure. I think that that these were generally just dilapidated buildings across this side of the road. That side of the road was the billiards hall. You used to have a big 8-ball on the side of the wall, big black ball with number 8 on it. That was in the, I don't know, early 80s. I think it was there for quite a number of years though, probably into the 90s. These two buildings, again, I'm not sure. I think they were probably shops at some point, but they've been houses for a great number of years. I think that this was the post office. I think, but I'm not 100% certain. It's got a huge, I don't know if it shows up at night, but it's got a huge flagpole pointing into the sky outside. I can't see anything that gives much away. I'm looking for GPO or something like that. Anne-Marie was telling me earlier that it had a fire, which is why quite a lot of the building's guts are missing. Some of these businesses have bitten the dust. I'm not sure if that sign printing place still exists or if that's gone now as well. But apparently the pole sticking out at the top there was where they used to hang sails when they were working on them. So, that being said, I'm assuming that this must have been the Copax chandler's place. See the pole up the top there? Hopefully it'll come out in the dark. It was for many years used as a car repair place. I think part of this one next door perhaps even, but whether it still is and it's just locked up, I don't know. It's certainly old. Got like old either electric or telegraph things on the side of the building there. There is a ring of some kind above that pole at the top there, which does ring true to the sails, doesn't it? So they could possibly stick the top of the sail through that ring at the top, maybe. Those little doors that they have on these buildings always fascinate me, but I always think it must be because they used to work on horse and carts, and the height of the cart would have been roughly where that door is, so they could shove stuff in. I think that is the case. This building below here is obviously a far newer building. When that one was built, I don't know, but I think that this road here, I think is the original dock road to go down to the docks. I think people used to cut down here and drive down to the docks. Now I'm not sure whether the road that cars just followed then existed at the time, or whether that's where the little terraced houses were. I'm not completely 100% sure. I'm looking there. That's a George Royal post box. So that predates 1953. Because it'll be Queen Elizabeth. Now I must admit, I can't remember what was here before the flats. I should know because I used to pass it every day probably, because I used to live in Lower Brook Street many years ago. I know on the end there, that one was where the little hut was. I mentioned that earlier in the daytime video. There was a hut there. I used to go to play school before nursery there. But that was, crikey, that would probably be about 1978, something like that. Many years ago anyway. But there were terraced houses on this road leading down to the bridge under Dock Road. I think I've seen photos of them, or I've seen them on a map maybe. Oldmaps.co.uk is quite good as well if you're interested in old history stuff. They have a few bits and bobs on there. See this little turn in here, I don't know. I have to have a look at the old maps. Like the Fight Club there and the glazing building. They look a little bit more modern than the other older ones, so I don't know. Got an old anchor, is it? Or something stuck in the rock, and then you've got the road that leads down to the now sadly defunct old Quay house. And that was the bank. It's even got bank written on the building still. I don't think you'll pick it up in this light though. And it says AD 1893. I think it was Lloyd's, when I was a kid. Again, could be wrong, it might have been NatWest, but I think it was Lloyd's. I remember hearing that they'd left the vault in the building. Yeah, so I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember when it was initially turned into flats, the vault still was inside the building. It may not be the case now, it may have been removed many years ago, it may have been removed a couple of weeks later, but I don't know if it'll pick it up, but we've got AD 1893 and bank on the top there. This is the Army Cadet training place where it was. As you can see, all the side of it now, it's been converted into housing very recently, last 12 months or so. Looks alright like. But when I was a kid, it was the Army Cadets. Used to be marching up and down at the back there. Used to be able to see them. Gym full offices for a while. Royal Welsh Fusiliers. I think it's built 1936, so just before the Second World War. I think they knew what was coming at the time. Again, railway terrace. Well, there hasn't been a railway here since the 1960s really. There is still a tunnel leading underneath that you can walk under, heads off towards the docks. There were two, when I was a kid, two tunnels going under here, but they filled one of the tunnels in because they built that housing estate across the way there. So when they built that, they got rid of the other tunnel. And like I say, behind all this growth here, if you delve enough, you can't really see in this dark light, but if you delve enough into all that growth, you will find a pole, possibly two poles, that used to hold some information. I think it had like the Connah Railway Station sign. because Connah railway station was just down there, and it'll have things like train times and other such items. Again, knowing the floods years ago, I wouldn't really want to be in a dip near to that river, but I don't know. They put a little fence here next to the bin. Everyone used to cut through there, you see, for many, many years. I bet the kids still jump over the wall and climb down there anyway. On Church Hill now. Getting close to home. And we live over the hill now. Nice house there. This house here used to be an old person's care home, and then a gentleman took over a few years ago, and I remember him doing it all up. Nice chap, and he was a very, very good carpenter, so he did most of the woodwork, if not all the woodwork himself. I remember him doing it, probably late 90s, something like that. And this was the garden for that White House. That White House's garden went all the way down here, right down there. And then the original occupant must have sold up, flogged it to a developer, and they built a little housing estate. So that White House that used to have an absolutely huge garden now hasn't got one at all. Like I say, I'm not quite sure how the video will come out. I'm not quite sure how the audio will come out. Hopefully it comes out okay. I'll have to see. Like I say, if it's actually visible and it's not just a big black screen, I'll stick it up. And feel free to comment, and perhaps when I've got some decent equipment in the future, I might do a rerun in 4K with something that's got a bit of a faster lens, a bit more, let a bit more light in perhaps. But yeah, that was the doctor's surgery with the huge garden. One of these two was Quay clocks till not long ago, and I can't remember which one it is. Whether it's that one or that one, but one of them was. The chap was a good horologist, fixed his clocks. We took a clock there and he sorted it out for us. Very, very skillful job. Very difficult to repair clocks because there's so much oil in and tiny little cogs and what have you, hundreds of the damn things. But fantastic.